Emma Crawford had lived alone for 7 years now, ever since her husband passed. At 58, she'd grown comfortable with her quiet routines, her morning coffee on the porch, her garden that bloomed faithfully each spring, her book club on Thursday evenings. She'd learned to fill the silence with small joys, though sometimes the house felt larger than it needed to be. Her neighbor, Robert Hayes, was a different sort of soul entirely. A widower himself at 62, he still had a 12-year-old daughter, Lily, who filled his days with the chaos and wonder that only children can bring. Emma would often see them in the yard, Lily laughing as she kicked a soccer ball, Robert cheering her on with the kind of devoted attention that made Emma smile. They'd been friendly neighbors for 3 years, exchanging pleasantries over the fence, waving as they collected their mail. Nothing more than that, really, until the day of the neighborhood barbecue. It was one of those perfect September afternoons when the summer heat finally breaks and everything feels possible again. The street had gathered in the Thompsons' backyard, and someone had set up a beanbag toss game. Emma found herself standing beside Robert, both of them watching the younger neighbors compete with fierce determination. "I used to be quite good at this game," Emma said, surprising herself with the comment. Robert turned to her with a gentle smile that crinkled the corners of his eyes. "Is that so? I find that hard to believe. Are you doubting my beanbag prowess?" Emma felt something light and playful stir inside her, a feeling she'd almost forgotten. "I suppose I am," Robert said, his tone warm with teasing. "Tell you what, how about a friendly wager?" Emma hesitated. She hadn't been playful like this in years. But something about the golden afternoon light and Robert's kind face made her bold. "What kind of wager?" "If I win, you have to come over for dinner. Lily's been wanting to meet you properly. She sees you in your garden and thinks you must know everything about flowers." "And if I win?" Robert thought for a moment. "Then I'll come help you with whatever project you've been putting off. I'm pretty handy." They shook hands, and Emma felt the warmth of his grip, steady and sure. As it turned out, Emma's skills were rustier than she remembered. Robert won by a comfortable margin, and as the sun began to set, Emma found herself agreeing to dinner the following Friday. The dinner that changed everything that Friday evening, Emma arrived at Robert's door with a bouquet of dahlias from her garden. Lily answered, her face lighting up with a smile that reminded Emma of her own daughter at that age. "You're the garden lady!" Lily exclaimed. "Dad said you were coming. I made dessert. It's just box brownies, but I put extra chocolate chips in." Emma's heart squeezed with unexpected tenderness. "That sounds absolutely perfect." Robert appeared behind his daughter, wiping his hands on a dish towel. "Come in, please. I hope you like chicken piccata. It's one of the few dishes I've actually mastered." The evening unfolded with surprising ease. Lily chattered about school, her soccer team, the book she was reading. Robert moved through his kitchen with quiet competence, and Emma found herself relaxing in ways she hadn't in years. There was something healing about being part of this little family tableau, even just for one evening. After dinner, while Lily was upstairs doing homework, Robert and Emma sat on the back porch with coffee. "Thank you for coming," Robert said quietly. "It's been just Lily and me for 4 years now. Sometimes I worry she needs more women in her life, I suppose. Her grandmother visits when she can, but she lives 3 states away." Emma felt her chest tighten with emotion. "You're doing a beautiful job with her, Robert. Anyone can see that. Some days I'm not so sure." He stared into his coffee. "Work has been demanding lately. I'm an architect, and we're finishing up a major project. I've been staying late at the office more than I'd like. Lily tries to be grown up about it, but she's still just a kid." They sat in comfortable silence for a moment, listening to the crickets sing. "I lost a bet," Emma said suddenly, "but I won something too, this evening, thank you." Robert looked at her with such warmth that Emma had to look away. "You're welcome here any time, Emma. Truly." An unexpected proposal 2 weeks later, Emma was pruning her roses when Robert appeared at her gate. His face looked troubled. "Emma, I need to ask you something. It's going to sound strange, but please hear me out." She set down her shears, concerned. "Of course. What is it?" "My firm is sending me to Seattle for 6 weeks. It's a crucial project, I can't say no. But Lily, I can't take her out of school, and my mother-in-law just had surgery. She can't travel." He ran his hand through his silver-streaked hair. "I've been trying to figure out what to do. A babysitter seems wrong for that long, and then I thought, you mentioned once that your house feels too big, and Lily already adores you." Emma understood before he finished. "You want me to stay with Lily? I know it's too much to ask. We barely know each other. But there's something about you, Emma. I trust you. And Lily lights up when she talks about you." Emma should have said no. It was too much, too soon, too complicated. But she heard herself saying, "Yes, I'll do it." Moving in 3 days later, Emma found herself unpacking her suitcase in Robert's guest room. The house smelled like cinnamon and old books. Comforting, lived in. Lily helped her put away her clothes, chattering the whole time about her school schedule, her favorite foods, where everything was kept in the kitchen. "Dad left you a whole notebook," Lily said, producing a thick binder. "He's kind of intense about being organized." Emma flipped through it. Emergency contacts, Lily's doctor information, her schedule, meal ideas, instructions for everything from the thermostat to the washing machine. She felt a wave of affection for this careful, caring man who thought of everything. The first week was an adjustment. Emma had forgotten what it was like to have someone else's needs structure your day, getting Lily to school on time, helping with homework, making sure she practiced her violin, attending a soccer game in the rain. It was exhausting in a way Emma hadn't experienced in years, but it was also life-giving. What they discovered one evening, after Lily was in bed, Emma was tidying the kitchen when she noticed a stack of envelopes on Robert's desk, partially hidden under some papers. She wouldn't have looked. It wasn't her business, but one envelope slipped to the floor as she passed. It was from the hospital, past due. Emma's heart sank. She carefully picked it up, trying not to see more, but there were others. Medical bills, all marked with increasing urgency. The next day, while Lily was at school, Emma couldn't help herself. She looked more carefully around the house, the careful way Robert had worn his one good pair of shoes until they needed resoling. The absence of any new clothes for himself while Lily had everything she needed. The notes about price comparisons at different grocery stores. Robert was struggling financially, and he'd never said a word. That evening, when Robert called for their nightly check-in, Emma listened differently. She heard the weariness under his cheerful questions about Lily's day. She heard the worry when he asked if they needed anything, even though she now realized he could barely afford what they already had. "Robert," she said gently, "how are you? Really?" There was a long pause. "I'm fine, Emma. Tired, but fine." "Medical bills are hard," she said quietly. "I saw the envelopes. I wasn't snooping. One fell. I'm sorry." Another pause, longer this time. When Robert spoke, his voice was thick. "Sarah's cancer, before she died. Even with insurance, it was... I'm still paying it off. I took this Seattle project because the pay is better, but I feel terrible being away from Lily." "Oh, Robert, I don't want your pity, Emma. I'm managing. I just need to keep going." "It's not pity," Emma said firmly. "It's caring. There's a difference." Emma's discovery about herself, but Emma had her own revelation coming. One afternoon, going through some school forms that needed a parent's signature, she came across Lily's journal, accidentally mixed in with the papers. She knew she shouldn't read it, but a line caught her eye. "I wish Emma could stay forever. She makes Dad smile in a way he hasn't since Mom died. And she makes me feel like I have a mom again, even though I know she isn't." Emma sat down hard on the kitchen chair, tears streaming down her face. She'd been so focused on getting through each day, on being helpful, on honoring her commitment. She hadn't realized what was really happening. She was healing, and maybe helping Robert and Lily heal too. She'd been so careful since losing her husband, protecting herself from caring too much, from being hurt again. But here in this house, with this small, loving family, her heart had quietly opened back up. That evening, she called her daughter, Catherine, who lived 2 states away. "Mom, you sound different," Catherine said immediately. "Do I?" "Happier. Lighter somehow." Emma smiled through fresh tears. "I think I am, honey. I think I've been given an unexpected gift." When Robert came home, 6 weeks passed faster than Emma could have imagined. The house had become a home. She and Lily had developed their own routines, Early morning tea before school, working on homework together at the kitchen table, weekend baking projects that left flour everywhere. When Robert's car pulled into the driveway on a Sunday afternoon, Lily shrieked with joy and ran into his arms. Emma watched from the doorway, her heart full and aching at the same time. That evening, after Lily finally went to bed, she'd been too excited to sleep at her normal time. Robert and Emma sat in the living room. "I can never thank you enough," Robert started, but Emma shook her head. "You gave me something too, Robert. I've been half alive for 7 years. Living here with Lily, being part of a family again, I didn't realize how much I needed it. Emma." He moved closer, taking her hand. "I need to tell you something. Being away, calling every night, hearing your voice, I've fallen in love with you." Emma's breath caught. "Robert, I know it's complicated. I know we're both older, both carrying our own griefs. But maybe that's exactly why this makes sense. We know life is short. We know what matters." Emma squeezed his hand, tears in her eyes. "I love you too. I fought it at first, but somewhere between the soccer games and the late-night homework sessions, you and Lily became my family." The truth that shocked them a week later, they were all sitting at dinner when Lily looked between them with a knowing smile. "So," she said, "are you going to tell me you're dating, or are you going to keep pretending?" Emma and Robert exchanged shocked looks. "We weren't pretending," Robert said carefully. "We were just figuring things out. Dad, I'm 12, not stupid. You smile at your phone every time Emma texts, and Emma, you get all blushy when Dad calls." Emma couldn't help but laugh. "When did you get so observant?" "I've been hoping this would happen since that first dinner," Lily admitted. "I even made extra chocolate chips in those brownies because I wanted you to like it here." "You little matchmaker," Robert said, pulling her into a hug. "So can Emma stay? Like, forever?" Robert looked at Emma, his eyes full of hope and question. "I lost a bet," Emma said softly, "and gained a family. If you'll have me, there's nowhere else I'd rather be." 6 months later, the garden bloomed with spring flowers, Emma's dahlias mixed with new plantings she and Lily had chosen together. Robert had converted his home office into a proper bedroom for Emma. Though, truth be told, she spent most evenings on the porch with him, talking about everything and nothing while Lily did homework inside. They'd worked out the finances together, Emma insisting on contributing. Her teacher's pension wasn't enormous, but it helped. More importantly, they were a team now. Catherine visited often, delighted to see her mother so happy. Robert's mother-in-law had blessed the relationship with tears of joy, saying Sarah would have wanted exactly this for her family. At 58 and 62, Emma and Robert had learned that life can surprise you. That kindness leads to connection. That opening your heart again, even when it seems too late or too risky, can lead to joy you thought you'd never feel again. One evening, as they sat on the porch watching Lily practice soccer in the yard, Robert took Emma's hand. "Best bet I ever won," he said. Emma smiled, leaning into his shoulder. "Best bet I ever lost." And in the golden light of early summer, with Lily's laughter floating on the breeze, they sat together. 3 people who'd found their way home to each other through kindness, patience, and the simple willingness to open their hearts one more time.